My name is Mary. I've been married for 5 years and I also work in an office. I met my husband John through a matching app. John is 35 years old, 5 years older than me. He originally worked for a big company, but after we first started dating, he left his job due to relationship problems at work and has since moved from job to job. I also work, so money is not a problem, but I wish he would work a little harder at this job. When we first got married, John and I lived together, just the two of us. But after my mother-in-law called us out of the blue, our life changed drastically. That collapsed come right away. My mother-in-law said. John and I rushed to the designated hospital. When we got there, darling, there was my mother-in-law sobbing her eyes out. We prepared ourselves for the worst, and then the doctor came in. I need to talk to you all, so please come this way. He led us into a small room that looked like a conference room. He told us that he was going to need nursing care and that we shouldn't expect him to recover quickly. He also said he needs nursing care, so either take care of him at home or find a place to take care of him. My mother-in-law is not working, so I thought she'd take care of him at home. As I thought, my mother-in-law said, I will take care of him at home. It would cost a lot of money at a facility, and I want to be with my husband. It was completely understandable that she would want to be with him, having lived with him for so many years. Then, back to the hospital room, my mother-in-law talked to us about taking care of him at home. I would take care of him, but I think there are limits to what I can do on my own. If it's okay with you too, would you be willing to live with me at our house? I thought it would be very difficult for my mother-in-law to take care of my father-in-law by herself. My husband asked, Mary, is that okay? I could understand how hard it could be for her, and I didn't have that much of a problem with my mother-in-law, so I said okay and agreed. I had no idea that it would cause such an outcome. A month later, my father-in-law was discharged from the hospital. We had already moved to my parents-in-law's house, so we went to pick up my father-in-law together. My father-in-law said, I'm really sorry. He was so apologetic that it was almost painful for me. After my father-in-law came home, things were very hectic. Since my mother-in-law was taking care of my father-in-law, she didn't have time to do housework such as cooking. I was in charge of the housework and John took care of the garbage. Perhaps it was because our lives were so hectic, I gradually felt that everyone was getting frustrated. I thought that John didn't have such a tough job, but I wanted him also to do the household chores. John sometimes complained about why he had to take out the garbage. I honestly thought, why don't you at least do that? But it was my mother-in-law who was the most stressed. Ever since she started taking care of my father-in-law, it was obvious that she was getting more and more frustrated every day. Hey Mary, the bathroom was dirty. There was hair left on the floor. You need to clean it up. Hey, didn't we just have spaghetti? Don't be lazy to serve us the same meal within the same month. She started attacking me. John and my mother-in-law took advantage of me. Hey, haven't you been lazy lately? Mom is busy taking care of that, and all you do is work, right? You can't even do your housework properly. She lets you live at her house, so you should be working to pay the rent. He started saying things like that. After my mother-in-law started taking her frustrations out on me, I feel that for some reason, the distance between my mother-in-law and John seemed to have shortened. John had always been a bit of mama's boy, but I felt that the level had gone up even more. I knew how hard it was to take care of my father-in-law, so I tried my best to reduce the burden on my mother-in-law by cooperating with her on weekends. Gradually, she became more and more reliant on me. On Saturdays and Sundays, my mother-in-law and John would go out to eat together. They went shopping together on weekends, and I wondered if John's salary was enough to go out that much. I wished he would save money for the future, but I thought that if it was for my mother-in-law's refreshment, it was just for now. I took care of my father-in-law without saying anything in particular. My father-in-law could talk, so we could chat, laugh, and I enjoyed taking care of him. Seeing this, my mother-in-law said, "Mary, thank you for taking care of him. I'm glad you're here." She may have been able to relax a little bit, and she began to express her gratitude to me. I was happy to know that I was supporting her. After that, I continued to work and do housework on weekdays. On weekends, I kept myself busy taking care of my father-in-law. My mother-in-law and John were almost never home on weekends. One Saturday, I was chatting with my father-in-law, and I felt him trying to say something to me. "What's wrong, Father? Is something wrong? Do you want a glass of water?" I would ask him, but he would just say no. "Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help," I told him. Then my father-in-law started to talk very reluctantly. "Lately, my wife doesn't take care of me at all," he said. I thought my mother-in-law was doing her best to take care of him, so I interpreted it as meaning that she was not taking care of him the way he wanted. I said, "She is not a professional, so it's not easy for her." "No, it's not like that. She doesn't change my diaper even once until you come home," he said sadly. He also said, "John also comes to my room. He'd give me a cold look and say, 'I hope you'll be gone soon.'" So to sum up my father-in-law's story, my mother-in-law doesn't take care of him, and she doesn't give him food or change his diapers. She would put food in front of him and go into the living room laughing. Furthermore, when he asked John to change his diaper, he said, "You're not a baby, so do it yourself," and he scolded him. It was hard to believe, but the fact that my father-in-law was so serious about it might mean that it was true. I intentionally took the afternoon off to come home early to verify the truth. My mother-in-law was not home. Only my father-in-law was there. On the table beside my father-in-law's bed, there was breakfast and lunch, which she must have prepared untouched. I also checked with my father-in-law and found that the diapers had never been changed. They were soiled and stuck to his skin. I felt so bad that I had doubted my father-in-law. I changed the food and the diaper and talked to my father-in-law. He said, "I think you can see this is the truth." I apologized to my father-in-law for not believing him. "I don't want to ask you to do this, but Mary, please, would you take care of me?" He said, "Lately, they've been taking my bank card and using my money. I had no idea they were doing that." I was surprised. "I have several bank accounts, but they haven't found the one with the most money in it yet. So in order to protect it too, I would like you to take care of me." I said okay with one reply. I told my mother-in-law and John that I would take care of him on their behalf. They happily agreed. Since then, I have been taking care of my father-in-law and doing housework every day. My mother-in-law and John seemed to be happy every day. But when I left that room for a while, my mother-in-law and John would go to my father-in-law's room and make sarcastic comments to him. The other day, my father-in-law said to me, she was asking me about the money. "Where's the money? You're worthless without money. You're making us take care of you, so give me the money." "What? But don't worry, I'll take care of you, Father. I won't make you sad from now on," I assured him. After saying that, my father-in-law thanked me. He cried and thanked me many times. After that, even when I was taking care of him, my mother-in-law and John would go out together. One day when I came out of my father-in-law's room, John and my mother-in-law were standing in front of the door glaring at me. "Hey, you! At first, I was grateful to you for taking care of him, but you started taking care of him for money, didn't you?" I couldn't understand what she just said, and I looked at her with a blank stare. "I heard you and him talking about his inheritance. Couldn't hear the details, though," she continued. I had no idea what she was talking about, so I said, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about." "He was telling you where the money was. He said something like, 'when I am gone,' didn't he?" she accused. "Ah, that's what she was talking about." I understood, but I pretended I didn't know because I promised not to tell them. Then John said, "If you're just after money, I'm divorcing you. Get out of here right now. I don't want to be with a woman like you who is just after money, who's just in need for the money." He thought I didn't know anything, but I said, "Oh well, that's okay. I understand. I'm leaving. I also agree with the divorce, but I just want you to know that I'm not here for the money." Saying that, I took my father-in-law and left the house. We got divorced without any alimony. After that, my life with my father-in-law continued. Both of my parents have passed away. He is not my father by blood, but I enjoyed spending time with him so much that I felt like he was my real father. 1 year later, I received a call from John. "Help me," he called me out of the blue. Actually, my father-in-law passed away a month ago. John and my mother-in-law did not contact me at that time either. What could he want? I thought that, of course, as his son, I would get the inheritance, but all I have is debt, he said. I had known about this when I was alone with my father-in-law. He gave me a bank bag containing a large sum of money and told me to use it, so that I bought a flower to live with him and save the rest. He said, "You live in a nice place, so you must have money, right? I happened to see you the other day, and you went into a very nice apartment, right? I knew that I left you money, so you were taking care of him for money." He cursed at me. I told him, "Your father had never forgiven you too for what you did to him and for not paying alimony to me." That's right, my father-in-law was so angry at the two for not paying my alimony that he went out of his way to make a loan. "That's what you inherited from him, so take good care of it. I'm a stranger to you now, so please just don't involve me." With that, I blocked them so they could no longer contact me. Since then, the two of them had been in debt hell. They had been living comfortably, but now they were working hard to pay back the money. John, who has been moving from job to job, can't get a good-paying job, so he's working multiple jobs to pay back the money. Mother-in-law had a back injury, maybe due to her age, and now she needs nursing care. But of course, John is not capable of taking care of her. He leaves her diapers dirty all day long, just like he did with my father-in-law. What she did to him came back to her. I hope they are sorry for what they did. I've been alone since my father-in-law passed away, but I like to start moving on to a new life from here.